Hi, my name is Vivekanand Upasi. I'm an instructional designer. So in this video, you'll learn the basics of Articulate Storyline 360. So without wasting time, let's get started. Articulate Storyline is an authoring tool to help you develop e-learning modules, and Storyline has many similarities with Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you have experience in PowerPoint, then you will learn Articulate Storyline very quickly. So when you open Articulate Storyline, this is what the first slide you will be able to see. In the left corner, there's a option to create new project. Then there is option to record your screen. Then you have an option to import a PowerPoint, quiz maker, engage, or another storyline template, and also questions from file. And below that, you have a recently worked projects. For instance, an overview of the last courses that you have opened. Now let's create a new project. Before creating a simple course, to make you understand the basic things that you should be knowing to start working on Articulate Storyline 360, let me explain you the basic features of Articulate Storyline. So the screen what we are seeing now is a story view. Now to explain the story view, I'm opening an already existing course just to save time. Let me open the course. So here you are able to see the structure of the course which is already being built. I have used multiple scenes. This is a first scene, this is a second scene, this is a third scene, and this is a fourth scene. Similarly, there are another scene. Within a scene, I have used multiple slides. So the arrows between different scenes indicate that connection between the different scenes. It will explain the structure of the module, or we can say how a user goes through each scene. So if you can see the flag symbol over here, we are explaining the system that this is the starting scene. So the first scene consists of introduction part. I have used a title, a player details, a course objective, and an outline. So this arrows indicates that there are three different scenes which are connected to this slide. So let me go back to the previous project. We have a blank slide. This is our first scene. I'm labeling it as introduction scene. Within the introduction scene, I have a slide. I'm labeling it as a title slide. So I'm inserting a text over here, and my text is title of the project. Let me align it to center and make it little big as well. Sorry. And let me align that to center. So in the left hand side, you will see the title slide which we are working on currently. Let me add another slide. Let me take a blank slide, and I'm calling it as objective course objective slide. Let me make it as 40 center line. Then let me add another slide. I'm calling it as course outline slide. Get, now I'm going back to story view and I'm adding a different scene. I'm labeling it as lesson 1. Similarly, I will add 2 more scenes and let me change it as lesson 2. Now, if you can see in the left hand side, here we have an option to view the different slides within a scene. And above that, we have different scenes. We can flip from one scene to another by choosing those particular scene. Let me come back to the introduction scene. And now, before creating the course, let us see the other options that we have here. Below, if you can see here, we have got a timeline. So within a timeline, you will see the objects that you have added in the particular slide. Now, if I add a shape, let me add a rectangular shape. You can see that it has been added in the timeline. Let me remove that. Now, so under timeline, we can make the objects to appear after few seconds. Let me say I'm going to keep it at 1 second. So once the uh, slide starts, we will be able to see this timeline only after a second. So next to the timeline, we do have states. We can change the state of an object either while mouse hovering it or upon clicking on it or after visiting it or after selecting it, or also we can disable it. So I will explain how states work within some time. And next to the states, we do have a notes part. You can use this for a instance to record voiceover or just as an explanation or for how the slide works. At the bottom right of the slide view, you will see the base layer of your slide. You can also create additional layers. For example, it can pop up that you wanted to show on a slide. So if a user clicks on a button, you can show an extra layer that will be on a top of your base layer. Now at the top right, you will see the triggers option, and you can use triggers in combination with states and layers to make your e-learning module more interactive. I will explain the basic features of triggers while creating a project. So with, let us create a project now, and the topic, let us take it as why to go gym. Let me insert an image so that it looks good. Gym. I'm inserting an image. So to insert an image, you can go here on a insert tab. Either you can upload an image from a web, or if you have any images within your system, then you can upload it from your system as well. You can also upload an illustrations, icons, or videos or a character. So now that we have our image, let me stretch that a little to fit a screen. I'm sending that back, and this is not visible. Let me change the color font, and still it is not visible. I'm adding a shape upon a image just to make that title visible, and I'm making that image as transparent. I wanted that in a black shade and let's say 70%. Okay, now either I can send this image back by clicking on the right hand side and saying that send to back, or I can pull it in a timeline and bring it down below the title. So that title appears first, then the rectangular shape, then the image. Now I wanted this to be animated. So to do the animation, we can go to the animation panel and click on, you can choose whatever the animation you wanted. I'm choosing fade. Now if we preview this, this is how the title appears. Now let me also add a voiceover to that. How do you add a voiceover? You'll have to go to insert, then you have an option called as audio. Under audio, if you have a recorded voiceover, then you can upload it from your system, or you can, if you have it in your library, then you can upload that, or you can also record it right away, or you can create text to speech. It is in English. We do have multiple options, multiple language options, and under English US, we again do have a different male and female options. I'm typing here as welcome to the course on Y2 coaching, and I'm saying that it will take 30 minutes to complete this course, and I'm inserting the text to speech. Now you can see this object which is being added to our timeline. If you want to align it, you can align it. I wanted it to be started from first, so I'm keeping it in the same. Let me also add a text to speech that click on next to continue, and I'm updating that, or I should say that click on next button to continue. Now let us preview the slide.
Welcome to the course on Why to Go Gym. It will take 30 minutes to complete this course. Click on Next button to continue.
Okay, because I'm in preview mode, it will not jump to the next slide. Okay, when you choose to preview only the particular slide, then it will not jump to the next slides. If you preview the whole scene, it will jump between the scenes. And if you select respective slides, then it will display only that particular slides. And when you select entire project, the whole project runs. Now let me go to the course objective slide, and the course objective is, let me insert a text. In this course, you will learn about how to build your body. And let me add a background to this as well. I okay, this looks good for me. Okay, I'm sending that back, and the object text is not visible. I'm changing that to white, and let me align it to the left. Little, and beneath that, I wanted this to be appeared. Even now, it is not visible, so I'm adding a transparent background upon that. Okay, now this looks good. And the next slide is course outline slide. So let me create uh, 3 lessons button. So lesson 1, let me increase the font to 20. Similarly, lessons 2 and lessons 3 needs to be created. So now we were talking about states. So how does state works? We can have a look at it now. So on this particular object, when user mouse hovers on it, I wanted the color to be changed. So how to do that? Go to states, click on hover, add that. Now when mouse gets hovered on this, I wanted the color to be this, and I'm clicking on done. So when I preview it, now you will see that when my mouse is being hovered on that, the color is being changed. Similarly, we do have other options, as I said. So when we have visited, when we have selected, or we can also keep the button disabled, which means a dead state. You can try out the other options. So let me create similarly different states for all the three buttons. Changing this to okay, done. So now it's not looking that great. Let me add a image. Gym is the concept, so I'm adding gym as my background. Send to back. Then I'm aligning it. Now this wants to be changed to white. Okay. Okay, this is not that great, but just for a explanation purpose, I think this is good enough. So also when I click on lesson 1, I wanted it to be jump to the scene 2, which we have created already. If we go to the story view, we will be able to see here. This is lesson 1, this is lesson 2, this is lesson 3. So there are different scenes. Under different scene, there are different slides. So when user clicks on this particular button, that's lesson 1 tab, it has to take me to the scene number 2, which is lesson 1 uh, tab, lesson 1 scene. So to do that, you will have to click on triggers, choose as jump to slide or jump to scene. I'm choosing it as jump to slide because I want to be landed directly to the scene 2 under that for the respective slide. So when user clicks on that rectangle, it will take us to the scene 2 slide 1. This is scene 2, this is under that slide 1. Similarly, I'm assigning second tab as take me to the scene 2, I mean scene 3 under that slide 1, and similarly I'm doing it for lesson 3 as well. Now if you can see in the right hand side, we have added triggers over here, and we do have a default triggers here. So when we click on next button, it will jump to the next slide. Similarly, when we click on previous, it will take us to the previous slide, which is a course objective slide. Let me also label this for you, objectives, and this is an outline. So now if you can see here, it has been created 3 different scenes under this slide, which means there are 3 buttons which is taking us to these different scenes. So under lesson 1, we can create whatever the content we wanted to create. Similarly on lesson 2 and lesson 3. So that's the basics. So we have covered what does story view does, and what is the scene for, what are the slides used for, how do we structure it, how do we design it. Now let me preview the whole project.
Welcome to the course on Why to Go Gym. It will take 30 minutes to complete this course. Click on Next button to continue.
I'm clicking on next button. So this is our objective. I'm clicking on next. This is the course outline. There are 3 different lessons. I wanted to go to lesson 1. We have not created anything under lesson 1, but we have mapped it, and whatever the design you wanted to create, we can create it over here. Similarly, we can go to lesson 2 or lesson 3. So that is about it. You can try creating one. All the best.